Good evening, everyone. Figured we'd do a fireside chat for once. I was never able to get around to it last year. But we've got today. We had a bunch of trees and stuff that we had to trim this year, and a couple that were down, so I was able to get the fire pit up and going. But yeah, I mean, past few weeks, I know I talked about a lot of stuff, especially when it comes a little bit more about the education system. That's kind of been bothering me a lot past few months. I don't get it. They want to make a big deal out of all the gun violence, which is a big deal, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, you keep hearing reports every week, it seems like, about a teacher being arrested for having sex with a child. I mean, then, like I was talking about Project Veritas. When I upload this, I'll leave some links to a couple videos that they did about the school systems if they're still up. Highly recommend you checking them out, and it will make you mad. I mean, it made me mad enough that I shut the computer off, walked out, came outside for like 2 hours just to cool off. And, and I don't have kids, but they talk about, that schools are unsafe because of guns, when the fact is, schools, wow, there's just so much more going on. I mean, it is really a broken system. And talking to my one friend, finding out, they had to buy chairs just so so all the kids in the classroom could have a place to sit. I mean, what the hell? Where's all this so-called money going that's supposed to be going into these school systems? Then we start seeing the type of education, where they start using kids as political pawns, and they should be in the classrooms learning why we have a Second Amendment, why we have a First Amendment. It makes no sense. It makes no sense if you want to teach 7 and 8th grade or 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds about transgenderism. That has no place in the school system at all. All in the name of diversity. And we had the Boy Scout fiasco. And that hurt, because I grew up in the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Eagle Scouts. My sister grew up in Girl Scouts. Now they're talking about, now, went for the Jubilees and stuff in camps, they gotta have condoms. It's like, what the hell? What are you promoting? The Boy Scouts were meant to teach boys to be young adults. When they became Eagle Scouts, it was meant to teach them to be young men. Skills that, that's for men. The Girl Scouts taught young girls how to be girls and become ladies. And how to become young women. Oh, I can see a problem. At least it's nice and damp out, so it can't catch really anything on fire around here. We still have standing water in a few places. But yeah, it seems just to be the probably gonna have to move that camera here in a second. A little bit too hot. But it seems to be, the state of things, all in the name of diversity. As I talked about in Ramblings in the Chaotic Mind last night, we no longer live in a PC culture. We don't call it PC culture, we call it diversity. Everybody gets offended. People get offended because I talk about the Boy Scouts, how they need to be separate. Where girls need to be in Girl Scouts, boys need to be in Boy Scouts. The part that really got me going on that was a couple of weeks ago I read an article on the Watauga Democrats from North Carolina. When the Boy Scouts first announced this, It wasn't supposed to be for Cub Scouts. Cub Scout was supposed to be untouched, stay the same. But I kind of foresee it coming. But I didn't think, you know, figured it'd be about a year or so before they tried to push it for the Cub Scouts as well. But nope, we had our first they had their first Cub Scout pack that has agreed to, has said they're going to allow girls in. I mean, what the hell? You know, that's not feminism, that's not equality. You know, there's just certain places, certain things that are meant to teach women to be women and men to be men. And you know, of course, you know, I don't really care if I offend anybody. I already stated that, you know. If you take offense to something I say, maybe you should look yourself in the mirror and question why you got offended by it. Question things. Think about things. You know, we live in a day and age where you got all the information you ever want at your fingertips. I mean, you can look up anything. But yes, I know even that's starting to get harder with Google censoring stuff, removing search results. You know, it's become a joke. I mean, I know article links that I have, that when they first happened, you know, they were top searches. Now you can't even find them in the top 100 searches. They're there. They're just buried so far down that nobody's going to spend the time looking for them. That is a form of censorship. That is a form of controlling the narrative. You know what I like about being outdoors and stuff? Having this little fireside chat. This is something you guys can do. Invite a few friends over. Talk about things like this that's going on. Things that you want to make others aware. You know, have a few beers, pop, whatnot. Maybe some s'mores over the fire pit. Have some fun and just talk about these things with a group of people, from your neighbors and stuff. You know, I plan on doing a few more of these with some other people, bring them over. Just talk about things, what it was like when we were growing up. You know, how much things have changed. I mean, we live in a day and age where comedians can't even make a joke. Or they'll won't get venues, or they'll get removed from TV shows. People are living in fear of opening their mouth and saying whatever the fuck they want. Because you have that right. That right's supposed to be protected under the First Amendment, freedom of speech. Who cares what anybody thinks? I mean, yeah, I might have found a few things the past few months that's been distasteful, but hey, they're a comedian. I mean, get over it. Learn to laugh. I think that's the problem these days. We get so caught up in what they want us to do, we forgot how to live our own lives. We're letting others dictate what we can say, what we can do. I don't have a problem with transgenderism, homosexuality, any of that. A person has a right to be who they want, do what they want. But I have a problem with it when you start teaching children. In my eyes, that's no better than pedophilia. They shouldn't be learning those things. And if they, as a parent, you were even talking to your kids about that. How do you address it? Well, it's role play. It's something you role play in the bedroom. It's not meant for real life. Or it's something you role play at a Comic-Con or a cosplay event. Let's not get me started on the 9-year-old transvestite. I mean, 9 years old. Doing drag queen shows. No. In what society is that appropriate for a 9-year-old to be partaking in an adult entertainment? There is none. I mean, time to call things for what they really are. We talk about how we can make changes, how we can reach the youth. First off, kind of hard to reach the youth. They'll find us. They'll listen. We can never, remember what you were like when you were young? Did anybody tell you anything? No. We forget that as we get older. The only thing we can do is do what we do now. Have these conversations. Let them listen. Let them stumble across it. What we're saying right now probably will not make any sense to them until they get out and start experiencing life. Because, honestly, I was there, been there, done that. I had to experience life. I'm still experiencing life. There's still things I haven't experienced. We don't know everything. We need to get out and socialize more. Interact. Stop being so judgmental. That is a turn-off to almost anybody. That's an instant stop conversation. I want nothing to do with you. Almost every person has that mentality. Nobody likes being judged. Because who are we to judge? Do we walk a mile in that person's shoes? No. But I could see the other, somebody might say the hypocrisy of what I'm talking about, because I'm sitting here judging trans kids being taught diversity, transgenderism. No. There's no hypocrisy there. Because they're not adults. They're kids. There is a big difference. They haven't experienced life. They're at their adolescence. They shouldn't even know about sex at 7, 8, 9. They haven't even reached puberty, so there's no hypocrisy there. Somebody says something that's off the wall, attacking. Ignore them. Who cares what they say and think? Unless it's really affecting you, then maybe you should take a look in the mirror again. Why are you letting something bother you? Why do you let a word bother you? Why do you let an insult bother you when the person's just being a prick and a bully doesn't deserve your time. You know, people get all jacked up about trolls in the chat room. It's trolls. Quit feeding them. Quit giving them power. Ignore them. Tell your chat to ignore them. Let your mods do the job. If you ignore them, they go away. No one likes being treated, ignored, in silence. Because you're not getting their attention. They're not disrupting. Now, these are all common sense things. Supposed to be common sense things. I guess for the most part, we've forgotten common sense. You know, I think sometimes people just need to get away from the computer too. Away from the cell phone. I mean, take a look how beautiful it is out. Sun setting, birds are chirping. Stars will be coming out soon. Who knows, here maybe in about 15-20 minutes we might see some deer out. It's peaceful. Me right now, sitting here, I can hear the squirrels in the woods playing. Just a little bit ago, seeing our falcon that we've got around here. It's coming. Perfect Saturday evening. Nice little fire, cup of coffee. Just nice and relaxing times. Not dealing with all the information overload that's on the computer. And on every platform, everybody's sharing, retweeting the same thing over and over. just like for this fireside chat. It probably took me about an hour to get everything ready to get it lit because, I didn't want to do what my dad does. Toss gas, get diesel on it, use paper, cardboard. Something I learned from the Boy Scouts. How to make fire, how to feather stick, get your shavings up, how to use these dried leaves. Also realized how dull my knives were, which is odd. Considering everything around here, like I said, is still fairly damp. Even the wood was damp. I just cleaning up a tree down at the other end of the field that had fell down during the weather. I was like, oh, why not? It's fairly dry since it was pretty much surrounded by tangle vine. The tree, for the most part, was dead and fairly dry, so yeah, why not? It's nice out. We've been dealing with off and on showers for the past week. Storms. It's like, why not? Let's do a fireside chat. Come out here, listen to the birds and stuff. Enjoy a couple hours out here. Just talk about things. Whatever comes to mind. We know me. I've got all kinds of things running through my mind. Like the magazine. Yes, I am kind of disappointed on the magazine. But at the same time, I stuck to what I said in the beginning with it. It wasn't going to be just me. I couldn't get contributors, people to submit articles and stuff. If I had one or two people submitting articles, it wouldn't have been a problem. I don't get on here much to talk about what's going on in my personal life and stuff like that. This month was just not a good month. And it has nothing really to do with my personal life, just those around me. Brother's going through some hard times. Had to help him out a lot this month. Him and his old lady separated back right day before Christmas. And I've made mentions in past videos. My brother's also bipolar, so it's a little bit harder for him than it is for everybody else. Now he's dealing with legal stuff, courts. 4 kids. 3 that was with this chick he was with. It brings perspective in life also. Because, like I said, I've never been married, don't have to. I also see, I've seen relationships work and relationships don't work. I've had my fair share of ones that didn't work. A lot of that's communication. People don't talk. They forget how to communicate with each other. But he's got himself in a bind where he's forced now to work 2 jobs just so he can hopefully keep the house he's got. My brother wasn't stupid. He did good, in my opinion. you know, bought himself a house, a nice house, you know. He was raising a family. He was doing what he was supposed to, for the most part. But, you know, there's two sides to every story, too. I know how his bipolar got. I've seen it firsthand. You know? I mean, we've seen the writing on the wall long before it happened. So I've been dealing with that. I've been dealing with things around here that just needs to be done, that when we got a couple nice days, had to get it done before the rain. For some odd reason, our weather's been screwed up this year. I mean, pretty much, for those that follow my tweets, we get 2 nice days, 5 days of rain. Straight. I mean, we're just not, now finally got rid of the standing water we had in several places. And I did the leaf springs on my dad's truck in between weather. So I was behind the grind when it came to being able to set down. It seems like every time I sat down, something would happen. Something came up. I had to go to my brother's. I had to go run an errand. It was like, I just couldn't get the magazine to where I wanted it. But I had to make a decision. I'm not giving up on it. I'm going to talk to a few people and see if we get a few people that want to contribute every month, an article or two. That way we have, you know, consistency. Yeah, I jumped the gun on it. I should have, you know, got with a few people, more people, but I figured, you know, with the little following that I have and the people that I talk with, you know, I'd have got more people. But I also understand spring's coming, warmer days, people are just like me, they're getting out. So it was probably a bad timing to come out with it when I came out with it. I mean, I had it half done, so I'm going to finish it and put the second issue out for July. Try to keep it bi-monthly. That was my final decision on it. That way it stays in circulation, and that way people see it and I can get more. And once we get more people involved, I'll bring it back out monthly, because it's something I enjoy. Just as much as I enjoy doing these videos. But what the magazine allowed me to do, it allowed me to talk about things that were more thing on the lines of things that they like to censor, so it gave me a freer platform. You know, the days, I mean, the censorship stuff, it's gotten ridiculous. You all guys all know that. You say, it goes back to what I said last night in Rambling with a Can. Anything you say is under scrutiny. First time you offend somebody, they're going to. And I don't get it. I really don't. Especially all these people I hear complaining about free speech, censorship. Oh, this person said this. I mean, if it's fake, if it's wrong, correct them. They don't change it. Really correct them. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't say that person doesn't have the right to have an opinion or view. Because then why do we have a First Amendment? That's what I don't get with people. Oh, that person's talking about this religion. They're right. I mean, I don't like it being forced on me. Not one bit. I don't like being Bible thumped. But I respect it when they're talking about it, when they're sharing, you know, scripture from the Bible or scripture from the Buddhist. I enjoy that stuff. It's motivating. It's uplifting. Yes, I know there's some negative stuff too, but they have that right. See, we're living in a day and age where we're just so judgmental, but yet we'll scream, "Oh, they violated my freedom of speech." Well, maybe we need to take the high road here. Maybe we need to stop judging and, "Oh, I'm leaving this platform because you got a lot of Satanists on here," or "You let." No, that's not. Where are you gonna go? There is no. Forgot about that. There's a maximum recording size on this thing. At least I caught it. There is another reason why I don't like doing recordings like this anymore. Because I have the work that I have to go to take it off my phone and process it. It takes forever to upload to YouTube. Even setting it with the YouTube recommendations and stuff. That's kind of why I kind of had stopped filming with my phone. If somebody knows a trick to that, let me know. I mean, like I said, I use what I got. For some of the do-it-yourself videos you guys seen, the portable sawmill that I made from an old waterbed, California king-size waterbed that I had. Now, I refurbish a lot of stuff, you know. Just like my mouse, the left clicker is shot. Don't got the money to go replace it, so what I do? Just invert it, so I can use the right. You know, try to refurbish the thing. I don't have good sound equipment, if you guys know. I use what I got. Cheap Bluetooth. Works fine. I'm content with it. As much as I'd like to do some more do-it-yourself videos, it's just I see what other people that actually do that. I see how much time they actually have to invest in filming, paying attention so you don't stop recording in the middle of a sentence. And it happens. Yeah, I'm sure you guys saw that, didn't you? them off. Burn as much of that off as I can. Because it will grow, like I said. I'm not lacking for firewood. Yeah, it's a good thing I chose to do this while everything's damp and wet. I don't know how many of you guys actually have seen the property. We didn't do our garden this year. Last year it just didn't do so hot, so we got some compost going. And we're going to take a lot of this ash. Take a lot of that ash and put it in there. I'm sure you guys probably love it a lot fire than me, but well, that sucks. Yeah, I don't know what I did, but I can't turn the flip the thing, so. Probably because it's gotten too hot. No. I think it's kind of funny that out of all the things we can be doing, we allow ourselves to get caught up in all the drama on social media. I learned that lesson last year. All the crap that was going on, following all the stuff that I was following. By the time July got, I was so burnt out. I mean, I knew I needed to take a break, get away from it. You know, we just quickly realized how much negativity I was taking into my life. From all the watching the protests and stuff, following that, staying on top of it. I didn't realize exactly how toxic it became. And the truth is, I should know better. Should have known better. And I didn't. So I ended up taking a nice long break. And when I came back, I made a point. I'm not going to do this no more. I'm not going to allow all this negativity to come in my life. I'm going to make sure I take some time out for myself, away from the computer, away from social media platforms. For the most part, I've done great. I don't feel taxed. Don't feel any negativity. It was something, I just had to really experience and learn for myself. Because, I always take a break around October. From the last couple weeks of August through October, it's break time, it's me time to reflect on the past year. Reflect on the things that I've done, things that I've accomplished, things that I didn't get accomplished. Because it's important. Self-reflection is very important. Realizing, maybe I spent too much time allowing all this negativity. Reflecting on the things that I've learned throughout the year from other people. Because the truth is, we're always learning. We're always growing. I learned a lot from other people just by watching, listening, asking questions when I need to. And it's very important. Because when we stop doing that, we can get so caught up in all this crap that we're bombarded with. I don't think people fully realize how much crap we're bombarded with. On an everyday basis. All the information we take in. I think a lot of people don't realize that they're taking in that much information. Because they don't realize that you're sitting in front of that computer. How much information actually goes into your subconscious mind? People don't realize how susceptible they are to information. They don't realize when they walk in a room, they actually see more of the room than actually registers. The same principle applies when we're scrolling through posts, catching the images and stuff. They don't understand that pixels can be used in a form of a mesmer effect, which I recommend people look up. Look up mesmer, the mesmer effect. Especially now, because I ended up stopping gaming because of I played World of Warcraft a lot. I ended up stopping gaming when they updated all the graphics, and it was just too much. See, with this thing, I've learned to listen to myself. So I caught on to it, seeing how my body was reacting to it. I quickly realized, well, no, this is too much. Even with my graphics on the lowest setting, it was too much. And just imagine all the people that spend hours and hours. I have nothing wrong with the gaming industry at all. But sometimes you gotta sit back and wonder, especially with the way technology has become, 4K Ultra and all that stuff, when it comes to the pixels, how much of it's actually being used against us. I'm sitting here trying to figure out, why is everybody the way they are these days? Why is so many young people, even older people, so easily offended by words? So much division. Yes, we can blame some of it on the education system, the Common Core, the diversity, repeating words over and over. I can't pronounce the word tonight. When we hear a word over and over and over and over, that actually has a psychological effect. And I've watched it over the years happen. Before they really pushed the transgender, it was transatlantic pipeline, it was trans this, talking about treaties and stuff. Next thing you know, it's transgender. And everybody was numb to it. Just like everything's now diversity. When you sit there and look at diversity, when you study the word diversity, when you question the word diversity, well, first it has div. What is div? Div is to divide, separate. Manipulate. Diversity has nothing to do with equality, but yet they're pushing it as if it's equality. Where is the equality in something that you're dividing and subjugating? I don't get it. Something in the water? Like I said, so I'll try to take all the knowledge that I have, look at the other possibilities. Mesmer effect is a great possibility. Information overload is a big probability. The repetitive nature, there we go, of words. When we see one-sided narratives, with them never questioning anything outside the box. And we've seen that. When I was growing up, everybody believed what they heard on the news, on the nightly news. And, as my other generation started coming in, satellite, cable, CNN, they believed everything that came on CNN and Fox. Never questioned. It was the news. So that's a form of programming. Or as I put it, it's a form of indoctrination. We live in a society where nobody questions anything. Or they do question, but they don't go any farther than, oh, why is that? They don't put the time into research. And the sad reality of things that are coming as we're even speaking, they're making it harder and harder to find such things. Oh, use Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not factual. Just read the guidelines. There's actually articles on Wikipedia they refused to remove that even history has a whole different story. You know, the Holocaust never happened. Shit, you know, that's actually an article on Wikipedia. You know, when I was going to college, we were told never to use sources like that. I mean, when I was writing academic papers on academia, you know, that's the one thing we all joked about. You know, new people that come in, that's the first thing they said. Don't link no sources to Wikipedia. It's not accurate. It's anybody can edit, anybody can change it. Link real sources in books, people's opinions. Make sure you note it is an opinion of you. You know, because it is. I mean, we're getting to the point where even researching things is becoming harder and harder. They're wanting to control the narrative in such a way that, I mean, honestly, I hate to use the word, but it's Hitler-esque. It's how the Nazis did their book burning, controlling what is being taught, everything. So the youth only know one thing. They don't have access to the other stuff. That's something we need to be careful about. We need to be more outspoken about. We gotta stop letting them try to rewrite our history. Or say, oh, that can't be taught in our schools because it leaves a blemish on what this country is today. This country is what it is today. Let me rephrase. This country was what it is today. It's supposed to be today because of our past. But because of politicians that want to rewrite and remove things from the history, they've actually tarnished our history and blemished our history. "15, 20 years from now, it will be that history that they've rewritten. That doesn't even reflect on what the history that we were taught, that we know to be history. And that will be scary times. That would truly be scary times when they have rewritten the history. And they've taught it so well that to each incoming generation, there will be no such thing as freedom of speech, freedom of religion, right to bear arms. We're in the early stages of that happening now. With these younger generations coming up who will be future politicians. You know, that was the one thing that infuriated me about the schools. Using the kids as political pawns. It is a form of indoctrination at its worst. Because you're looking at the future politicians, the future lawmakers. That should scare you. That should be making you demand the school system never pull stuff like that again. In fact, that should be making you really step in and start questioning what these school systems are really teaching your kids. You know, I was shocked to learn that some schools don't even have textbooks or allow the textbooks to come home. Why is that? It's not because, oh, they're expensive. No, not even a little bit. It's because they don't want you seeing what's being taught. That's what that boils down to. And I do get it. I've said it time and time again. We're so caught up. Both parents have to work. We're barely getting by. We don't have time to, attend the parent-teachers meetings like we used to. In fact, it's not even really required anymore. And it's, I don't blame nobody. It's not your fault. Don't even blame yourself. It's not your fault. I get it. If I get it, you should get it. The system designed it that way. They wanted you completely out of your children's life so they can do what they're doing right now. Nothing more, nothing less. They want to control every aspect of our children's life. That is a form of indoctrination. I'm going to turn this. We ask why things are the way it is today. Why the youth the way it is. Well, for the better part of things, we've allowed our children to be indoctrinated with Common Core, with schools and colleges teaching diversity, gender-based issues, identity politics. We live in a day and age where race should never be an issue. Yeah. I live out in the country and you hear a train, right? I don't. For me, I think when we start talking about change, that's where one of the first places it needs to start in our education systems. It also needs to start with our school system getting properly funded, Common Core removed, teachers being paid right, but all this BS of we're going to teach the kids anything but real history, that's got to stop. Any talks of diversity, gender issues, identity, they're a child. Let them be a child. Let them learn basic, fundamental education. They'll learn those things as they get older. But they shouldn't be learning it in our school systems. Those are the discussions that the parents should be having with them. And it does start right there. It starts, as I've said, it starts in our homes. It starts getting in touch, finding out what our kids are learning in school. Then we start reaching out to our neighbors, our friends, and start attending parent-teacher conferences, school board meetings, demanding change. And yes, the school boards are going to say, well, this is what the state requires us to teach. Fine. Now we'll take it to the state. Now we'll start demanding the state that they make changes. We start finding people in our community that it's electable, that have the same values and beliefs. That's where it starts. You know, we hear talk about grassroots movements. All grassroots movements it was ever about was in the community, starting in the community. Communities coming together, having discussions like we're having under this Fireside Chat. Making everyone aware of things that are going on. Finding the future politicians that's going to stand up and make these changes. It's what needs to happen. You know, that's why we're dealing with censorship on the internet, on social media platforms. It's what it's all about. One guy, one man, throw a monkey wrench into everything. He used social media platforms to get elected, and their biggest fear came to life. So now we need to have full control, full censorship. We can't allow people to have opinions. Maryland, their congressional state members decided to introduce a bill, and they passed the bill making it illegal, a criminal offense, if you talk about elections or talk about a candidate or a politician, or if you theoretically talk about polls. And it was, the wording of the bill was so left up for interpretation. That's what they want everywhere. They get that off, there will be no grassroots movements, community movements, because it'll be impossible. They'll start, oh, you talked about this on social media, let me lock you up for a year. Let me fine you. Complete violation of the First Amendment. You know, they want to make a big deal of influencing elections, but they've been influencing elections for the last 30, 40 years. Dictating who can actually sit on stages during debates. So only the popular, what they deem as the popular ones, are on that stage. Not the ones that want to make real change. No. You want to be truthful about polls? Anybody can do a poll. I can influence, make a poll come out perfect, any way I want it. Just by knowing the demographic of the community, knowing the right people to ask the question. Then you throw in the few that you already know what they're going to say. Polls don't mean nothing. They're not even factual. They're easy to manipulate, easy to control. Don't ever believe a poll. I see people doing polls on Twitter all the time. Look at their following. The poll is going to reflect their following. Every time. A poll is going to reflect the narrative. Same mindset of people. See, that's why I try, don't care who you are. If I like what you're talking about, I'm going to follow you. I don't care what left or right paradigm you decide or label you adhere to you. I'm not following you because you're a label. I'm following you because what you talk about. It's interesting, it creates conversation, creates debates. That's why I follow you. Or I'm learning something from you. I don't care if you're left or right. In fact, I kind of laugh at you guys that claim to be right, left. Because you're just following the indoctrination. You've become what they want you to become. You're no longer free. because you won't look past the label. You won't question when this politician keeps doing the same crap over and over, but he's red, so therefore he has to be voted for. There's nobody else. I won't vote for somebody that's blue. You see the indoctrination? We should be voting for people that's going to protect our rights, who's going to defend our rights, defend our Constitution, who's going to bring change. It doesn't matter what label they use. The only label we should care about, they're an American. They're a U.S. citizen. And we wonder why we're in the state of affairs we are in today. Not because of our choices, it's because of the indoctrination. We were taught to be this way. Now, I covered this in Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind last night. You know, people want to talk about identity politics. Oh yeah, they actually have a point. They just missed the point. When they go all about everywhere but the actual facts of it, we shouldn't be an identity politics anywhere. We shouldn't be following left, right, independent, nowhere. It's a label. Labels are meant to divide, subjugate, enslave. You know, we live in a time where everybody should have complete freedom of their own choice. But now, the lines are drawn. And it causes more division. There should be no lines with Americans, with U.S. citizens, with fellow brothers and sisters. I mean, there's more and more I could get into all of that. You know, 'cause I've watched it unfold. You know, a bunch of us talked about it. You know, we watched how every one of these groups have been infiltrated by people that want to change the ideology and the meaning of each of these groups and organizations, political parties. They want to re-indoctrinate their way until they reach their goal. Their goal was division. People forgotten what division? The saying about division? United we stand, divided we fall? Oh wait, they don't teach Pledge of Allegiance anymore in schools. That's right. You know, just like, I think it's funny. And I don't mean it's funny, but I think it's funny. Being a little silly here on this part, when I say it's funny, that every other fucking country forces the internet to obey their country's laws. Forces the corporations to obey their laws. When most of those corporations like Facebook, Twitter, Google are based here on the United States. But they will not obey and honor our Constitution. But every other country can make them do it. Why don't you guys ask that question of your future politicians or the future midterm re-elections? Why aren't you passing bills to force Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Google, all the internet-based platforms to honor our constitutional right our law. Every other country can do it. We are giving corporations power over us by not forcing them to honor our laws, honor our Constitution. And it's a big problem. It's time that for you future generations that listen to this, when you decide to become a politician, remember this. Corporations that are based in this country should abide and obey our laws. Stop giving them the freedom to do whatever they want, to throttle over everybody. Oh, if you don't vote this way, we're going to fire you. Or if you post this on social media, we're going to fire you because you posted something, because you used your freedom of speech. It's time the corporations are reined in. Tell you what, when that happens, there will be change. When corporations can't get away with all the illegal stuff they do, when corporations can't buy elections, was our elections influenced? Hell yeah, by every corporation out there can throw as much money as they want. It is time that we wake up, that we quit arguing about, no, not argue, quit avoiding the real issues. We might talk about them, then we'll just create and compound on the problem with new ideas, new philosophies, and we miss the real issue. We could fix a lot of the real issues if we fixed the simple problem, the root of it all. Don't create new ones by subjugating, dividing, creating new labels for it, because every time you do that, you're missing the real issue. You're missing the thing that is broken that can be fixed. You know, because we can find the root problems of a lot of things. But we allow that little division, all those labels to come into play, and we miss the real issue. It gets lost, the real problem. you know, that, that cancer that, all you gotta do is clean it all around it, pull it out, probably bad terminology, but you get the point, right? We've forgotten how to keep things simple. We allow these labels to pull us further away from the root of the problem. And the next thing you know, we're creating new labels and compounding the problem. I mean, we'll keep it real. There is nothing that's going to be simply fixed overnight. That's not going to happen. It's going to take time. It all takes time. The question is, and this is the real question of it all, we know it's going to take time, but how far do you want to let it keep going before it takes a major event to bring about change? We've seen that happen throughout history. It takes major events to bring about change. We're seeing it even today in other countries, how it happens, where society just gets so sick and tired of it. We should never allow things to get to that point when we can do things about it before it ever gets to that point. We all have choices to make. We can decide to step back and let things keep going the way they are. Or we can start making changes, That's the other thing about change. Something that took me a long time to realize. Change doesn't start anywhere but with self. Sometimes you gotta step back. What do I do? Start reevaluating yourself. Looking in the mirror, what changes do I need to make? Because truthfully, we have to lead by example. We can't lead by example. We don't make the very changes we talk about. People see that. Change. In order for change to happen, we all gotta take a step back and reflect upon ourselves. Reflect on the things that we've done and are doing in our lives. The change that we need to be making. So when you see a person that say you see me somewhere, do I act the way I talk about the things when I'm not in front of the camera? Am I leading by example? My friends will tell you yes. The ones that are around, but you guys don't know that. You haven't seen, And that's the first thing you're going to see. That's your first impression when you see me on this out there. And that is so important. And don't get mad when a person all of a sudden makes a change and starts talking about something that he might have been against, or he might have been for. Now he's against. Why? Because they've learned. They've made a change. They learn something. They grow. They change. You know, my opinions and views will change as I grow and learn. It's understanding that and accepting that that's important. That I'm willing to make the changes. Okay. I see where I was wrong here in my way of thinking, my way of action. I see I was wrong for supporting this because it turned out to be something completely different from what it originally started out with. Its meaning changed. So therefore now I can't support that. Or I didn't have all the information at the time about it. I didn't see it happening until somebody mentioned it and I started questioning it, watching it more closely. Then I see what they were saying. And they were right. It's okay to be wrong. Make the change. You know, that's the ideology of being a free thinker. Having a view and opinion. And growing and experience things in life. As you experience things, sometimes things will change. We talk about change. We talk about how bad we want it. Unfortunately, a lot of that change starts with yourself first. Heaven forbid people judged me by how I was 20 years ago. Because I am not that person no more. Not even close. You know, I kind of enjoy getting back with some old friends from time to time, reminiscing. It's like seeing the changes even in their lives. You know, every day is not a party. You know, we grow up, we learn, we change, we adapt. We try to become better people. And that's what life is about as well. Being your own person. And that's what they're trying to teach people not to be your own person, having your own identity, being who you are. They don't want you to be who you are. They want you to be who they say you are. They want to create a false reality, make you into something you're not. Be who you are, who you want to be. Okay, I'm going to start wrapping this up though. Fire's about done anyway. And I just finished the last drop of coffee. So, you know, I hope you guys actually enjoyed this. I know I'm going to have a little work ahead of me because it stopped like 3 times. But like I said, something I plan on doing more. Have a few friends, get with a few friends, do some more of these where we got more people interacting and talking, sharing their views and ideas. Here's a challenge to all of you guys. Do the same. Have a fireside chat amongst your friends or family. Discuss things. Doesn't matter what the topic. Start bringing that awareness out. Share it, upload it. Link back to me when you do. And I'll also share it. Now, we could be doing this every weekend with friends and community. By doing this, we'll be bringing awareness to others. We'll be talking about issues. We might be learning things we didn't even know was going on in our community. Things we didn't know was happening in the school or in our workplaces, or laws that were passed in our state. You know, that's what I love about summer. You have this opportunity. You know, like I said, we talk about change all the time. Start bringing that change into your home, into your community, inviting people, having discussions like this over Fireside Chat, over a few beers, cups of coffee, pop. You know, you see me, I'm smoking a pipe. Yeah, I kind of enjoy it. It's usually what I do every evening. I come out here, pack my pipe. And tonight's flavor is whiskey Cavendish. Come out here and listen to the birds, you know, relax. Take a break from cell phone, internet, TV. For me, I've come to find it's been quite relaxing. It's, you know, feel better at the end of the day. Not stressed. Been real healthy for me past year doing this. But I do hope you guys enjoyed. I know I rambled on a lot. Calling this a fireside chat, and here I'm rambling. But that's what it's about. Just about talking about whatever comes to mind. Give it a try. But I will, guys. I'll catch you on the next video. Hope all of you enjoy the rest of your weekends. And just have fun someday. Take some time out for yourself and have fun. Fun that don't require you being on the internet or on your cell phone. See the difference it actually makes in your life. Trust me, you might find it quite rewarding. I know I have. And with that, you guys all have a good night.